So a common problem with the early generation 370Zs and many other cars is that the headlights tend to yellow after being in the sun for so long. So today I'm going to show you how to refinish them. I'm starting off by wet sanding with 600 grit sandpaper, which I've already got started on doing. Then of course you do the other side as well. Make sure not to damage your paint on the side, just get the edges. Move up and down because that's the way the car's lines are. Each car could be different, but this one, I think up and down is best. Get as close as you can to the edge. Make sure not to damage your paint. You'll see some areas with like lines of where the clear coat is. You're just gonna want to make sure you get rid of those lines. Once you've hit it for a while, you're gonna see the yellowing start to come off. It's gonna be like a film on top of everything, and it's getting more foggy, but that's a good sign. You'll see later. So I'm done hitting it with the 600 grit sandpaper. I'm gonna just clean it off with some water, and I'm gonna start using the 1500 grit sandpaper to finish it off. Here's a 1500, of course. I'm gonna continue wet sanding it. All right, so this side has already been hit with 600 and 1500, and as you can notice, there's some imperfections here where there's like a layer of its original clear finish. So what we have to do is hit it with 600 some more to get rid of this line, and hit it with 1500 again after that, and then we'll be ready for some clear coat. Once you get rid of all those lines from the previous clear product that came with it, you're going to want to make sure you hit it with the finer grit sandpaper after, just to assure that you have a better finish when you're done. I'm using the 1500 again, and after this I will be ready to mask it off and clear coat it. Make sure you rinse it good before you go on to your next step of finishing it off. I'm going to use both hands for this, so just make sure you scrub it with your hand and put clean water on it. So this one has been finished with 1500 grit sandpaper with wet sanding, of course, and it is all foggy now, which is good because it means it's porous and ready to accept the clear coat. Now there are no lines left in the finish, so it's perfect and pretty much ready to go. After I mask it off with masking tape and maybe some paper, I'm gonna clean it with some rubbing alcohol to clean it up as much as possible to make sure the clear coat bonds well. I forgot to mention, but once you're done wet sanding, you could dry it off with a microfiber towel. Just make sure it's clean so you don't get anything to scratch it on there. Before you start masking, you're gonna wanna make sure you clean the edges around so the tape could bond. I popped the hood so the hood doesn't get any overspray. That way it'll be easier to mask off the car. Once your hood's popped, maybe check your fluids. You always want to make sure you're doing good on oil and coolant. When you're masking, you're going to want to start off by putting masking tape as close as you can to the light without touching it. You're going to put it all around the edge, and after that you're going to cover it up. You're going to cover up the rest of the sides with some paper to make sure you don't get overspray on your paint. Now that we're no longer going to be touching the headlight at all, I'm going to clean it off with some rubbing alcohol. Cleaning it off with alcohol will get rid of excess debris and make sure that you have a better surface to put your clear coat on, which will give you a better finish at the end. So after masking off the edges, we put some bags, and it's like some plastic cover for masking. So we use that, we put it in place, and now we're gonna start shaking up the clear coat. You're gonna wanna make sure your clear coat is glossy. Don't get anything matte or satin. You're gonna wanna shake your clear coat for about 2 minutes. When you start applying your coat, make sure that you are very careful for overspray. Only throw down a very light coat first, and after that, just keep applying light coats to avoid any dripping. It's pretty windy today, so make sure you don't spray when the wind's blowing really hard, you're better off waiting for it to be a little easier, so you don't end up putting your paint too thin, or so it doesn't go to the wrong place, or so you don't overspray something that you don't want to hit. One good way to speed up your masking process, to use the Easy Mask tape and drape, because you use the tape that's on the edge, and then the rest of this plastic unrolls to be very long, like maybe 3 or 4 feet. So it makes the masking job very, very time efficient. So the can's ready to go, and I'm gonna do long streaks from top to bottom, and I'm gonna do it very light to make sure that it doesn't leak. This particular clear coat says that you could paint with 1 minute between coats, and then that it's dry to the touch in 20 minutes and dry for application within 1 hour. So this is very fast drying, and I'm gonna get started now. So after just one coat, you're starting to see that it looks very good already. It's already looking really clear. You're gonna wanna be aware of the concavity of the headlight. In the center, there's like a hump. So you wanna make sure you spray around it and get every part of it. If you have to, get it from multiple sides. And yeah, if you spray it well, it looks good right away with just one coat. Of course, I'm gonna hit it with a few more coats so it lasts more years, but it's already looking good. There's a heavier coat since the light coat's already on and it's able to hold on to itself. You're gonna wanna make sure your streaks are in a consistent line like that, like we're moving up and down. And it's really looking good in person. I'm sure it looks good on camera. It looks way better than before. This is something you're really gonna wanna do to make your car look new again. So at this point, we've applied about 3 or 4 coats of clear, and we're gonna let it sit for about an hour, maybe more. And after that, we're probably gonna polish it just to finish it off, to give it a nice smooth finish. But they're nice and clear now. They're not yellow anymore, so I'm happy with the result so far. So this side is just about done, and I took off the masking. It looks amazing. I just wanted to say, when you take off the masking tape, take it off at an angle and take it off slowly to make sure you don't damage any paint or peel off any clear coat that you don't want to peel off. Before I started today, the top of this headlight around here had a ton of yellowing and there was a lot of imperfections. Right now it's looking amazing. I'm really happy with the results so far. All right, I put one last clear coat on this light on this side, and it's looking good. So I'm gonna just give it about 5 to maybe 15 minutes, take off all the masking, and show you guys the finished product. At this point, I'm most of the way done. I just have to take off the rest of this masking, and I wanted to show just how I do it so that if it's anybody's first time, they can do it properly and not damage anything. The inside you could take off pretty quick because it's just on rubber, so you can take it off however, but the point is to take it off like this at an angle when you're dealing with paint or something you don't want to hurt, because it's a more finesse way of doing it for more safety to your car's finish and paint, clear coat, or even chips that it has. You don't want to extend them. Just peeling all this off at an angle, nice and slow. Better to be slow than to ruin your car. Nice and easy. If you rush in this part, you could ruin your whole work, and it takes a few hours, so it would be a waste of time and money for your product. So just take it easy when doing this and you're almost done. Just finishing off the last of the masking removal. and I'm all done. This damage right here was already there. It's because I bought my bumper from eBay. It was already painted and it came folded up in a tight box, so it has a few cracks in some places, but it's not a big deal. Luckily, since I took off the tape carefully, it didn't get damaged any worse. Time to close the hood. So here's the finished product. It looks a lot better than I did before. I'm really happy with the result. The cost of the materials, the cost of the clear coat was about $5 to $7. The masking products and the tape, maybe another $5. So overall, this is inexpensive. It just takes a few hours of your time if you want to do it right. I appreciate you guys watching this video. Please share it with your friends. Like, comment, and subscribe. Drop a comment if you have any questions. Look at my social media. It'll be in the description of this video. Thanks for watching. Good luck with your project. Thank you.